Good day, everyone.
I was born and raised in Detroit. Growing up there, I saw people like me running things.
This is a courtroom, not a circus, so we're gonna calm down.
I'm sorry.
What I found there was a passion that I didn't know existed.
This is the bottom line.
I'm excited to free fall into the limitless possibilities with we the people. So many are fearful of the law. They think it's something that works against them.
I think you need to begin to accept responsibility for your mistakes.
We are the people.
Mike Scott claims he needed stitches after his neighbor's dog mauled him when he went to retrieve a ball. Antonio Gilbert says Mr. Scott agitated his pet by repeatedly trespassing on his property.
Good day, everyone.
Good day,
This is the case of Scott versus Gilbert. Mr. Scott, you were suing Mr. Gilbert for $1,284. You say you were injured when the defendant's dog attacked you. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And Mr. Gilbert, you say that the plaintiff was trespassing on your property.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, please take me back to that day, Mr. Scott. You said the defendant's dog attacked you.
So the day of the incident, my son and I, Jason, we were just out playing catch like other families do in the cul-de-sac. It's a little driveway where, families hang out at. And we were just playing catch. And I'm working on Jason's accuracy. And essentially the ball sailed over my head. I tried to knock it down, and it bounced a couple times and then rolled in the front of Antonio's house.
It just went over on his property?
It just went over in his property.
Okay, so what happened then?
So I darted over. I didn't want to be in his yard. It took all of 10 seconds to get the ball and come back. But on the way back, next thing you know, Billy, his dog, burst through a screen door. That screen door, by the way, seemed like it should have been replaced. I'm not casting judgment.
You saw all that while you were running away.
I was able to see it on the way there and just being a neighbor of his for the past few years. It's an old door. And so his dog, Billy, burst through the screen, gets my calf, and starts tearing it to shreds, blood's gushing out. Antonio essentially comes out because he hears all this happening, and his way of helping was just to call Billy over. He wasn't concerned about me. He gave a half apology.
Well, he had to get the dog off you.
That is right.
That's the first thing you're going to do is call the dog and get the dog off of you.
He just cared more, but it seemed like it was an inconvenience to him that this was happening on his property than me as a person. It could have been my son, Jason.
Your Honor, on my property.
What type of dog is it?
Your Honor, he's a Rottweiler dog.
Okay.
That I took under an adoption, and that he has been with me for 4 years. So
How old is he?
12 years old.
12 years old. So
Yes,
a
ma'am.
pretty old dog, but not old enough that he couldn't catch up with Mr. Scott.
However, Your Honor, I'd like to add that this dog has a prior service record, so he's well-trained, well-disciplined, and well-behaved. And not one time has he shown any aggression or attacked any one of the prior neighbors or any passerbyers.
And so you feel that on this particular day, your dog felt threatened or felt like your home or you were threatened when Mr. Scott came over to get the ball.
Your Honor, yes, ma'am, that is correct. However,
is this the, however what?
The aggravation to the dog was compiled when 3 times he entered the yard, and each time my dog stayed behind the screen door. He alerted to that just by barking, non-aggressively, not scratching at the screen door or anything.
So what do you mean 3 times he came? The ball rolled over into your yard 3 times?
I heard the dog bark once. I looked out there, I saw the ball in the yard. He retrieved it. Mike retrieved it. It happened a 2nd time. The 3rd time, I was in the kitchen, just preparing some meals. I heard a loud crash and bang, at which time I ran out to the front living room area to see what happened, and by that time, my dog Billy was out of the yard, and he bit my neighbor Mike, who was only several feet from my front doorstep, despite
I thought the ball was on the grass. Why is he by your front doorstep now?
Who knows, Your Honor? That ball could have struck my screen door and then bounced off into the yard.
Where did the ball roll, Mr. Scott?
Your Honor, if I may, I actually have supporting evidence I'd like to
Please do.
provide to you. I have a diagram that shows our cul-de-sac and our yard, along with my medical bill. If I may, Your Honor, can I describe what we're looking at?
Please.
So as you can see, defendant's house is Antonio's Of course, I'm to the left. He overthrew me just a little bit, and it rolled into the yard. And by the way, the other 2 times...
What is this little space that you're playing in, like a common green area?
Your Honor, that's a cul-de-sac area.
It's just, oh, that's the street. You're in the street.
We're in the street. The green's
Okay.
the grass, and that X is where the ball landed. But, Your Honor, the first 2 times, the ball barely rolled into his yard. I was able to get it at arm's length. I didn't have to go into his yard. 1 time, for 10 seconds, I'm in his yard, and now I'm paying the price of 10 stitches.
Coming up.
1 time.
Just 1 time.
It went deep into the yard. The other 2, I got it at arm's length. It was barely...
I didn't ask you how long did it go deep into the property. I said how many times did the ball roll onto his property?
You're right, Your Honor. 3 official times.
I am right.
And later.
So I got some biodegradable wipes, and it said that they dissolve in water, that the water breaks them down. So honestly, I thought they'd be fine.
Wait, you say Ms. Hamilton suggested that you get the wipes?
If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Emmy-nominated We the People with Judge Lauren Lake. We're back with the case of Mike Scott, who brought Antonio Gilbert to court over a vicious dog bite.
Did the ball go on his property?
It did, for 10
thank
seconds.
you. Thank you. That's all I need to know.
And Your Honor.
So the ball went on his property.
What else am I supposed
How
to do?
many times did the ball go on his property that day?
1 time.
Just 1 time.
It went deep into the yard. The other 2, I got it at arm's length. It was barely...
I didn't ask you how long did it go deep into the property. I said how many times did the ball roll onto his property?
You're right, Your Honor. 3 official
I
times.
am right. How many times?
You're right. 3 official times.
3 times. That day while you're playing. Each time you went, the dog was barking. This. Did it ever occur to you, Mr. Gilbert, that you know what? They're out there in the front. You know, I just happen to have a dog too. And I have a German Shepherd, which is also a trained dog. And I know that there are certain things as an owner, right, that I understand that may excite or give my dog some type of anxiety. Did you ever think to just say, you know what, let me come take him out back, or come on, let me bring him in the house, or let me just bring him somewhere else, because this is just gonna worry him. Because that's what dogs are trained to do, protect property.
Your Honor, I'd have to agree with you. However...
So why didn't you just take the dog and remove him away from the screen door? Did you realize your screen door was a little shoddy?
Your Honor, my screen door is not shoddy.
Okay, so it wasn't shoddy. But
No,
you have a
ma'am.
Rottweiler at a screen door.
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
think a Rottweiler's teeth are strong enough to bite through screen?
It is, but there's no evidence of bite marks on the screen.
Right, I'm just asking you. As an owner, do you think that that could be a possibility?
Yes, if a dog's untrained.
So did it ever occur to you that with a Rottweiler, maybe I should get one of those glass doors instead of just a screen?
Either way, it's a Rottweiler. If he wanted to get through the glass, he could have went through the window on those several occasions when Mike was
No,
with his
don't
friend.
they have those new kind of screen things where
They
it's
sure
not
do.
breakable?
Your
Do you
Honor, I
understand?
understand.
So
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
saying you have the screen door. You know if your dog wanted to, your dog could get through that screen door, right?
Your Honor,
So do you
yes,
think
ma'am.
you have a duty of care as an owner to say there's a kid playing out front with their dad, they're rolling the ball, and he keeps barking, let me just bring him in here because I don't want him to bust through the screen after them?
Well, Your Honor, despite several warnings, doesn't he have a duty to be careful? Up until the point the ball hit the screen door, which may have aggravated Billy.
Did your ball hit the screen door, Mr. Scott?
No, it did not, Your Honor.
Question
Your Honor,
to
that's
you in
untruthful.
terms of being a parent who's thinking about the safety of their child. Did you ever say to yourself, oh, gee, I have a kid and we're rolling the ball, and there's a Rottweiler at a screen door. Maybe I should reposition where we're throwing this ball so it doesn't keep landing directly near Mr. Gilbert's property. Did you ever think about that?
I definitely did.
Do you have a backyard on your house?
I don't. I only have the front yard. And
Do you have any other part of that yard where you could have gone where you weren't sitting in that ball going straight over there near the Rottweiler?
Unfortunately, no, Your
Okay,
Honor.
bring that diagram back up, please. Where's your house?
So I'm to the left of the defendant.
What's that green part in front of your house?
I was about to say I used to play catch right there, and we noticed that there was a better chance of that ball dribbling into Antonio's yard. So I moved into the driveway trying to be proactive. You know, I'll take a bullet for Jason.
Your Honor,
I'll do
directly in
anything
front
for
of
Hold
my
on,
Jason.
front
Mr.
door.
No, stop talking. Mr. Scott, if your yard is over here and you've got a front yard, why isn't you didn't just angle yourself over to this side and maybe go in between your house and the neighbor over here where you're nowhere near the dog?
You know, honestly, the sun was just getting in our eyes at that point. We were just trying to find a little bit of shade. And that's the honest to God truth.
And you just take a bullet for your child, but you wouldn't decide to play ball after the sun went down enough so that you could go over to around somewhere where a Rottweiler wasn't. Child, make it make sense. Y'all in here wasting my time.
Your
Let me
Honor.
tell you, no, don't talk anymore. I'm sick of hearing it. This isn't making sense. I've walked through several levels of care for both plaintiff and defendant that you all could have walked through to ensure that you were not harmed. When you say you hear a dog barking and you know they're out there playing ball and there's kids out there and you don't go and close your door, you're wrong as well. You trespassing on the property, but you knew good and well he kept coming there and get the ball. And you never even said to them, hey, don't play ball over here. You see the beware of dog? My dog doesn't like it, move. Both of y'all wrong. What's the money? Because I'm sick of y'all. 1284. That's the damages you had?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, let me put this in half because I'm ready to go. $642 each. Listen, we're going to split the difference on this. Both of you all were negligent. You knew good and well that ball was going on your yard. You knew good and well your dog was sitting there at a screen door, and you knew there was a child out there. You better be lucky that something worse did not happen. But when you put yourself in danger over and over again, trespassing on somebody's house with Rottweiler at a screen door, you might as well just run away with the circus, boy. You in here acting crazy. Judgment for the plaintiff for $642, half of the $1,284 you asked. You all need to split the difference on this, and you all need to figure out how to be neighbors. Have a conversation. That's the part that drives me crazy. You have so much to say now, but neither of you, two grown men, didn't do the right thing. I feel bad for the baby and the dog. Court is adjourned.
Judge Lake has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant owes $642.
Any final thoughts for each other?
Well, Mike, I'll split the difference with you, but I don't feel that I should have to pay. I already put the fence up.
I want to say I actually love dogs, but it is something that you got a fence right after this happened.
Coming up,
If this is your tenant, if you tell her to go out and get this kind of wipe, and she does get this kind of wipe, and the toilet clogs again, why is it you believe she's responsible to pay for that?
Because they weren't being used responsibly.
you're watching Emmy-nominated We the People with Judge Lauren Lake. Shirley Hamilton claims she had to hire a plumber after her tenant's kids clogged the toilet with wipes. Lisa Thompson says Ms. Hamilton told her to get the wipes because they were flushable, so she's off the hook.
Good day, everyone. Good day. This is the case of Hamilton versus Thompson. Ms. Hamilton, you are suing Ms. Thompson for $439. You say the defendant clogged your toilet with wipes. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Thompson, you say the plaintiff told you to use them. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, so this is a toilet in a home you own. She's living there. How is it that she's using your toilet?
I do own my home, and I decided to get a tenant. We had a mutual friend, and I found out she was a single mom and needed a place, so we had a short-term lease situation going on. And
So she moved in with you, like in your property that you live in as well?
yes, my
Okay.
tenant. So we were roommates, essentially, and she does have 2 small children.
Okay.
And, I mean, initially it was a great situation.
So you say that you're suing her for a clogged toilet. What clogged the toilet?
The toilet was clogged with wipes.
Okay, wipes. And what kind of wipes were these?
They were biodegradable wipes.
All right, and so you figured that out from the plumber, or you knew that Ms. Thompson was using those wipes?
The plumber pulled them out.
Okay, and so Ms. Thompson, did you know that these wipes were an issue for a toilet? Like, did you know that?
Well, she had suggested I get the wipes, and so I got some biodegradable wipes, and it said that they dissolve in water, that the water breaks them down, so honestly, I thought they'd be fine.
Oh, and so wait, you say Ms. Hamilton suggested that you get the wipes?
Yes, he suggested that my kids and I purchase some wipes.
Coming up,
But when you talk to a real licensed plumber, they will tell you none of these wipes can be flushed.
you're watching Emmy-nominated We the People with Judge Lauren Lake. We're back with a dispute between Shirley Hamilton and Lisa Thompson over a clogged-up toilet.
So you believe she should be responsible to pay for that toilet, even though you told her biodegradable wipes were okay to use?
Well, the problem is he pulled out several wipes. So, and I have his evidence here.
All right, please let me see that.
That these
just have the
are
entire folder?
supposed to be, okay, well, these are supposed to be flushed one at a time. And he pulled out multiple wipes.
Okay, here's the wipes that were bought. Are these the wipes you bought?
Yes, those are the wipes I bought, biodegradable.
Never flush more than one at a time. Ms. Hamilton, I need to understand, if this is your tenant, if you tell her to go out and get this kind of wipe, and she does get this kind of wipe, and the toilet clogs again, why is it you believe she's responsible to pay for that?
Because they weren't being used responsibly. One at a time means one at a time, and multiple wipes were flushed. These are children, these are small children.
Were you aware that your children were using more than one wipe and flushing more than one at a time, Ms. Thompson?
Well, I would check to make sure they were doing one at a time. Of course,
How would you do that?
Of course, I wasn't checking every single time.
I hope not.
But I was trying to check, as much as
The
possible.
bottom line is you don't know what they did.
The bottom line is I taught them how to properly use the wipes, and I told them only one at a time. But no, I was not with them every single time.
Okay.
But I told them one at a time and tried to make sure they complied with that, and they did that.
All right, and so when she said to you, listen, it clogged again, you owe me the cost of the plumber, $439, what was your response?
Well, when she told me that, I said I shouldn't have to pay that. It's not my fault because the wipes are supposed to break down in water.
I have lived this thing with these toilets and these wipes that they advertise as flushable. But when you talk to a real licensed, experienced plumber, they will tell you none of these wipes can be flushed.
Judge Lake's verdict when We the People returns. You're watching Emmy-nominated We the People with Judge Lauren Lake.
The problem is that, number one, you hired a plumber that really didn't warn you about the true nature of these advertised wipes, right? You ended up going to tell her, get biodegradable wipes. She went and did that. The court has found that there really is no negligence here. Unfortunately, Ms. Hamilton, you were not informed, and I feel badly for you because, like I said, I learned something new that day from my plumber. Because, people use those things all the time. People like to use them. They're a symbol of being cleaner, right? You want to be a clean person. People don't necessarily often have bidets, but then you use the wipes. People are not informed that these wipes still do and can cause toilet clogging. I believe your plumber at that time should have been a little bit clearer with you, because for you to recommend to your tenant to use a certain wipe and it clogged the toilet again, unfortunately, that leaves the onus and the responsibility on you as the landlord. For that reason, judgment for the defendant and the plaintiff's case is dismissed. Court is adjourned.
Judge Lake has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's case is dismissed.
Any final thoughts for each other?
Well, I feel like they made the right decision, and I'm happy we can move on from this.
I feel like you got off easy, but I'm also glad to move on.
Okay. You've had your day in court. Please follow me.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.